Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This week we're going to do something a little bit different. Usually in these weekend videos, I'm taking you around the market, sharing with you some of the best trading opportunities that are on my radar for the week to come. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about strategy development and more specifically, strategy development using indicators. Now, don't get me wrong, if for some reason you stumbled across this channel for the first time and you're thinking this is some sort of get-rich-quick scheme, or I'm going to give you the super secret rules to a strategy and you can go into the market tomorrow and blindly trade it and make millions of dollars, sorry, you are mistaken. What we're going to talk about is what goes into strategy development, how to take what's going through your mind and actually put it in a type of format where it can be tested. And we're going to talk about some of the questions that you need to ask during that testing process, or during that process of taking that idea and eventually turning it into something rules-based that you can put through the back testing process, continue to filter and tweak, and hopefully one day trade. So I hope you guys enjoy. While the little disclaimer thing is going on, make sure you hit that like button. Leave me a comment if you have any questions throughout the video. And if you're new, subscribe and make sure that notification bell is hit. That way you don't miss my next video. Now again, are you going to make money using it by itself? Heck no. No, not at all. Not at all. Trust me, because you're going to get destroyed in the chop if you're waiting for that. But you can use it as a reason for entry. If you have another exit indicator that goes with it, right? You can team it up and find something that makes it work perhaps. Maybe use a stochastics to exit. Maybe use something else to exit. But again, it's just an example of like indicators aren't always used for what they say they are, right? It's not always, I guess it does say stop and reverse, but typically it's looked at as a trail stop, right? It can be used as an entry signal as well, or as I've used it many times in testing as a filter, where it's like, you know, instead of looking for a moving average cross, right, I'll only take the trade if the parabolic SAR is on the same side, right? So I won't look for shorting opportunities unless the parabolic SAR is above it. So if I get a buying signal right here for whatever, so here's an example, like daily chore. Maybe I get a buying signal right here. This would be one that I ignore, right? Because the parabolic SAR is on the upside. And boom, what did it do? Kept me out of a loser. So indicators aren't always what they're advertised. You gotta do a lot of, it sucks, but you gotta do a lot of work to figure out kind of what they tell you, if that makes sense. I like using the stochastics as an exit in my testing, right? So you have parabolic SAR, one of the advantages is going to give you a looser trail, which in big trendy markets like the 2000 pip move I just showed you, amazing. But like I told you, most of the time it's not going to be that. Most of the time it's going to be the chop, right? And the market has to give you a massive pullback before you're stopped out, right? So my question has been, hey, if I'm looking for these moves, how do I get out before the massive reversal, right? I like stochastics for that, right? You look at the stochastics, when the green line, or if green line crosses yellow line, orange line, get out. Now all of a sudden, right, instead of getting out right here for trails, I'm stopped out, looks like probably right here. You guys see that? Green crosses orange. It's somewhere down there. Let's see if I can actually pinpoint if I can find my data box. Oh man. Let's see if I can actually pinpoint when the K crosses the D below. So right here. So it would have been, yeah, this candle right here. So this would be my exit at the close of this candle. Right? A lot of people only think about the stochastics as what, an entry indicator. Right? Probably never thought about it as exit. I mean, I've talked about it before, but a lot of people just think it's an entry indicator. Could be a nice exit indicator as well if you want to take it one step more conservative. Instead of the K crossing the D, the green line crossing the orange line, you can wait for it to cross above the 20. Right? That's a good it's a common entry use of the stochastics when after it dips below and dips back above. Same thing with the RSI, right? A lot of times with the RSI, we talk about oversold and overboughtness as ways to look at it. Experiment with what happens when the RSI crosses back below the line. Not just goes above, but when it goes below the line. In fact, a lot of people will trade the RSI as breakout traders as it goes above, right? Their entry reason is the RSI breaking the 70. Now, for you guys, that probably seems insane, right? Latch said the same thing. Yep. He was like, what? Because we always talk about the RSI as being like a reversal indicator. And again, that's the counter trend nature. I don't really teach breakouts. Greystone doesn't really teach breakouts. But the RSI is not a counter trend trading indicator. I don't think there's such thing. It is a strength indicator. And the higher the RSI is, the more strength the market has. So a breakout above a 70 tells you a very strong market. Now, what goes up must come down eventually. But we've all seen the RSI. We can stay above 70 for a very long period of time. We can stay above 80 for a very long period of time. Right? Here, let's look at another random example right here. Let's see what this one does. Right? When did we go? This one actually came back across. So let's look at this one right here. We went below right here. So here is a previous level of structure. Here's a breakout with the RSI breaking below, right? Gave you a pretty decent move down from 66, 65s, all the way to 66 evens. Who knows if there was any type of reversal reason down here, or entry or exit reason, excuse me, down here. But you can have some fun with it. You can even say, hey, I look for an ATR break or an equal measure move break or whatever. I don't know. I've never tested it. But you can see the common theme. Here's a false break right here, break, and then we go back above, right? So maybe you stop yourself out. We have another break, and this is the 80. So imagine the 70 is going to be a little bit higher, or this is the 20, so the 30 is going to be a little bit higher. But look how long we've stayed oversold for, guys. Now I'm kind of curious, right? We went oversold here. We went oversold there. We didn't cross back above until here. Now, let me see. Do you guys don't mind if I go on this little rabbit hole chase, do you? I know we're supposed to be looking at pairs and stuff. Now I'm kind of curious about something. All right, let me just let's put that same stochastics on that I had on the other chart and see what that would actually, if there would be an exit there. Stochastics, what do I want? 535, right, Akils? I never remember these numbers. So let's do a 30, right? Because that's a traditional RSI. We'll look at both. Let's do a 30. So we're going replay mode here. And let's go back to this area right here. Replay. All right, so let's go here and let's take a look at what happens as we click forward. So we're looking for, okay, so we got our RSI breaking the 30. Right, let me actually go one back. Did we break on this one? No, we did not. All right, so RSI breaking the 30. Nope, not that one. We just hit it. So next one would be a break of the 30. All right, so let's say this is your entry, right? And it so happens, look left, and we have more structure down here as well. But we did break a recent level of structure up here. So let's say that's your entry, right there. Let's say you get involved at the close of this. Stops, right? You're a breakout trader, so stops are somewhere around the highs or above the highs. Now, here's the thing with a breakout. I mean, obviously you can have rules if you can look for a ATR, percentage of the candle, or you can just do an active exit. So an active exit would mean you don't have an actual exit location. You're just waiting for that indicator. Pros and cons of that is the cons are you have no idea what your risk reward is going to be. You know your risk, but you don't know your average risk reward ratio. Now, you'll probably have an idea of that once you acquire enough data, but for each individual trade, you have no idea what that is. So let's play the cross on the stochastics again. We're looking for the blue to cross the orange. And again, there's so many filters you can add here, but let's just kind of keep it as simple as possible. See what happens here. Boom, we're below. That's going to be your exit indicator. Haven't crossed yet. All right, up. So here's your first cross. You would have been exited right here, and you can see the RSI crosses above that 30 again as well. So a little bit of a loss right there. Let's see what happens now. Now we're back underneath with the RSI. All right, so your second exit, your second entry would have been right here. Tighter stop above there. Let's see what this one does. Just curious what the exit would have been. Did we cross? Nope. Nope. Looks like we did cross right there. The K 755, 759. Nope, I guess we didn't. Let's try one more. There we go. So now your cross would have been right here. So this would have been your exit. Per that stochastics exit reason. Now, if you're using the RSI, maybe crossing back above the 20, let's see what that does. Does it help you? Does it hurt you? And these are the questions that you ask yourself in testing, or even the stochastics crossing back above. So if you use an RSI crossing back above 20 or even back above 30, you basically would have had the same exit. So you would have been in the trade a little bit longer, but your exit reason would have been the same. So again, this is a very broad example. And obviously there are so many moving parts. Do I use an RSI breakout of the 30 and then a re-break of the 20, or a 30 and a re-break of the 30, or do I use a break of the 20 and a re-break of the 30? There's so many moving parts. Do I not even use the RSI at all as an exit indicator, and just the stochastics, as the stochastics cross, or a cross but only above the 20, right? There's so many moving pieces that go in, but you play around with them. And then you get stuck into the charts, kind of like I did for the last 20 minutes, and you just you have these theories and you play around with different things, and maybe you come up with something that works, right? This example worked pretty good. There's probably a million of them that don't, right? There's probably a million examples that we can go on with and be like, hey, this next one failed horribly. The next 18 million failed horribly. But does that give a good example of kind of the process of trade development, strategy development, and just the mindset of, hey, you have an idea, you test it, you tweak, you test it, you tweak, you test it. Okay, let's try the 20. Okay, let's try the 30, right? And you keep going back over it, kind of like we showed earlier with Eddie, right? If I bring back that equity curve real quick, that Eddie shared, right? This doesn't come from one day of testing, right? So I finally finished all my back testing for my first ever swing trading strategy that I started about 6 months ago. I tested about 30 pairs with baseline rules with filters, and 13 of them made the cut for my portfolio. It's not the most amazingly profitable system, but it definitely beats what your bank is giving you. And it's a starting point for myself, and I'll be hoping to add a couple more strategies over the next coming months, years, to work alongside this one to complement each other and hopefully reduce the drawdown and increase the profit. Wanted to give up so many times from frustration, but happy that I didn't. Now to prepare myself for demo trading, which will be starting in the next few weeks. Big thanks to the main man himself, GOAT emoji, Keel Stokes, for helping me along the way with any problems. I had Naomi as well, who helped me from the very start with any questions I sent her. Right? This stuff takes time, man. Like that's the takeaway from it. I like the stuff about beating the banks and the realistic expectations, and the whole, obviously the whole this whole thing is amazing. The whole caption is amazing, but like 6 months, the testing, the tweaking, like people say it's a journey. It really is a journey. You can ask anyone in here that's had any success, and this is why people go dark. They get sucked into this rabbit hole, and instead of doing it for, the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes like I have, right? They do it for months and months and months. And there's a lot of failure in it, to be honest with you. I mean, that's, unfortunately, there is a lot of failure where you do all this, you have these bright ideas, you get all excited, and then it doesn't work. But you keep grinding at it. So just to take a quick break, and I want to harp on the amount of time that this trader took to develop the strategy. And one of the major excuses that I hear in trading, especially as traders get a sense of reality about what it actually takes to become a consistently profitable trader, and understand that it's not going to be days, it's not going to be weeks, it's going to be months and even years for most of you. A common excuse is, well, I don't have the time. And I want to share with you a challenge, right? A challenge that my business partner and my good friend Jason Greystone just put out in order to really give yourself more time to be more productive and accomplish some of the goals and the tasks, such as developing a strategy, creating rules, and testing it. So check out this quick challenge from him, and then we'll pop right back into the rest of this video.
All right, guys, Jason Greystone here. I've got a little challenge for you if you're up for it. And if you've subscribed to my newsletter or listened to my podcast or any of my content over the years, you'll know that I'm always acutely aware of the time and the importance of time and how valuable time is. You might have seen me post frequent calendars like this with a countdown just to make everyone aware of time. And coming up at the end of this month, the clocks are going to go back. Okay, that means for most people, for many people, they say, oh, we get an extra hour in bed. So I've got a little challenge for you. How about that? We use that hour to make some progress, and I'm going to be calling it the Progress Power Hour. And I've developed a little tool for you so that you can go and download the tool, set a goal or multiple goals to get done during that hour, and use that 1 hour as a way of making progress in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. It could be one big goal, it could be several little goals or little tasks that you've just been putting off and putting off and putting off. But whatever it is, we're going to use this hour to make progress. And I really, really want to see how much progress we can make collectively across everyone that takes part, just to see how much we can actually get done in an hour. But most importantly of all, I'm hoping this little exercise will help build momentum in your goal progression, ticking off the little goals, the little tasks, chunking down tasks. If you're up for it, we're going to do a little challenge. I'm going to see how many people we can get on this thing, see if we can get it trending. So if you want to take part and you want the free tool, click on the button, put your name and email. I'll email you the tool, and we can all prepare to kick this thing off and make massive progress in just 1 hour. And if you can see the progress you make in 1 hour, hopefully it'll open your eyes to how much progress you can make if you focus your attention on things that are important to you rather than consuming content or scrolling through social media, and actually getting your goals done instead. So get the tool, tag me on social media and tell me what your goal is. Use the hashtags below, and let's do this.
There you go, breakout traders. The breakout strategy for you. Go test it. Then demo trading is key because you want to make sure you can actually trade it live. That's another thing. So Mia said, I'm sorry, I'm late on. Nice thing about trading, you can test different combinations, endless testing. Would you test hundreds directly or revisit if it's giving you any profits after 10 or 20 tests before changing parameters again? I would give it more than 10 to 20. I would like to go, I would put it through a quick, I'll go through quick eye tests. And I don't know if you saw kind of the strategy development labs I did on the, I have one series here on the platform. There's another one on YouTube, I think, called Building a Forex Strategy. But yeah, I'll try to do 50 to 100 trades once I kind of have an idea. Like I always go through eye tests first, so I'll just scroll through it and kind of look at eye tests, and I can tell pretty quickly whether it's like, hey, this works, or it only works in consolidation, or it only works in directional movement. But I'll go through it, and I'll take very very undetailed test results. Like it looks binary, just like ones and zeros for yeses and nos, essentially, until I kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I'm fortunate. Again, I've been trading since 2007, so I have a pretty good eye for the markets, and I've done enough testing and strategy development, failed strategy development in my career, where I can tell pretty quickly when something's going to work in certain conditions. So it's easier for me to make the tweaks or tell what's going to tweak first. But yeah, I would go through not a full back testing, meaning not a full back testing where you're keeping the details on all the exits and entries and whatnot, but just a quick eye test where you're like, does this work, right? Obviously, this is one that works, right? Does that make sense? Like kind of what we just did, right? I didn't write down the stop. I didn't write down the entry, the target. I just wanted to see, did price move in our direction? Would it have been a profitable play, right? And we can agree this one would have been a profitable play, so I'll write down a 1 for yes, right? And then we'll do another one, and if it's no, I'll write down a 0 for no. And if there are more yeses than nos, or if you, maybe I'll write down kind of what the profit and loss would have been, not the actual numbers, but like, hey, this one lost 30, this one won 40, because you do need those numbers to kind of see, especially if you don't know the percentage. But just not anything detailed. Probably like a 4-column spreadsheet: wins, loss, profit. Wins, losses, profit, drawdown. And then if those numbers look good after, maybe 50 to 100 trades, and it looks like it's something that works, then we'll get into kind of a more detailed version. But a lot of the time it's just comparison. So I'll run over that same sample size and I'll be like, okay, this was 30 RSI, 20 retests. Let's try 30 and 30 retests. Or let's try 20 and 30 retests. And just kind of make comparisons, line them up next to each other and be like, okay, this one seems to work better than this. And just, play around until you find that perfect mix, right? Like cooking food, right? You try, you experiment, make little dishes, play around with it, too much salt, too much pepper, and then boom, just right. And then when it's just right, then you eventually dive into your thorough back testing. Yeah, they're on the platform. If you go to, I don't know where I hid them. They're on the platform. They're on YouTube. Hid them probably in Blueprint course. Treating your trading like a business. Strategy development. I bet it's in here. Yep. Strategy development diaries. The failure of Akil Stokes. Right. This was actually a live, kind of like, not live, but I did it. It was not a training course. I did it live. So like each day as I was going in and testing, I'd kind of come back with different lessons. It didn't work what I was testing. But I shared it on here because traders thought it was cool. It was weird. Like I was sharing it it was over the winter, so when no one had anything better to do. And people were like, man, I love that. I'm like, it didn't work, right? You're like, yeah, but the process was cool. I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to work. And people thought it brought value, which it makes sense. You learn the best lessons from failure in a way. So yeah, it's here. There's another one I did last year before you guys sucked me into the daily chore. I'm going to see if I can find it it's on my YouTube channel as well. I didn't put this one on the platform. But this was right here. If you go to special events and interviews, building a Forex strategy, I think it's a 4-part series, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. This was another strategy that I was working on. We talked a lot about kind of different tests, and this is the one where we're going to talk more about like baseline tests and stuff as well. And again, I never finished it because I got sucked into the daily chore, and then a year later, still messing around with that. But this was something that I started last December as well, which is actually, it was going pretty well. And then it just, and then again, other things happened. So you can check those out as well. Pretty cool stuff. Richard said, was that the inside bar strategy, or was that the one on the platform was the inside bar one? The one on the YouTube was a different one. That was more of a daily swing trading one. Something that check a signal once a day, let it ride. One of those type of deals. How many of those eye tests would you do before you decide to actual back test until it works? Until I find something that works. So I guess it would also depend on how many different parameters I'm testing. If I know I'm testing 3 different combinations of RSI, and then, I'll do the test 3 times. So I want to test all those initial ideas first. So if it's, hopefully I don't have 10 initial ideas, but maybe it's in the realm of 3. And I think the important part is not that I think, I know the important part is, it's just like we talk about in trading, right? When we review our trading, or when we talk about continuing on our path to success in trading, it's all about the review process, right? Going back through your trades and reviewing them, make sure you did the right thing, make sure, you didn't make any mistakes. Is there any way I could have got involved earlier, later, right? Very similar to like how we looked at the Aussie dollar, right? Where I just told you I couldn't get involved in that Aussie dollar trade. But you see how we went back through it, and I'm like, well, if I would have used this entry, right? And that's just a learning process. I'm not actually trading it, but you're going through your different scenarios in your mind. Those same questions need to be asked during your eye test as well, where you're looking at this and you're tracking it, and you're not just looking for the answer. And I think that's the key. That was the biggest mistake I made in my back testing, was I was just looking for the answer. You're not just looking for the answer in this, you're looking to answer questions. So as you're looking at this scenario, you're also saying, okay, well, that was a 30 break. What would have happened with a 20 break? I know if a 20 break, we never would have had this loser up here, right? So you're going through those questions in your head as well, and hopefully you're tracking them somewhere. You're tracking them on a notepad, or if you're old school like me, you have a piece of slate and you're chiseling in your your notes in there. But hopefully you're tracking those notes throughout. So then when you're done, you kind of have like, hey, this is what I should be looking at. These are my observations, and it makes it easier to kind of figure out what you want to test. But I think the best thing is have an idea first of what you want to test. And I'll tell you what, you have a lot of people on the platform that are brilliant, that have been through this process. You have myself, you have Jason Greystone. Don't underestimate Charles, man. I know Charles is quiet. He lurks in the background like a stalker. Charles is a genius when it comes to testing stuff. Charles is a genius with strategy development, right? Use us. This is what we're here for. These are the coaching services, man. Use us. Shoot me an email, Mia, and be like, hey, so this is what I was thinking about. I was considering this and just want to get your advice on, do you think that, or you think this? And what we've done in the past is we've looked at it in Q&A sessions, right? I know we haven't done it in a while. Actually, we did a few weeks ago. But we'll actually bring traders' strategies to Q&A sessions. We'll walk through them, and as a group, we'll start discussing, making observations and discussing, hey, what could we do differently? What could we do better? What do we like? What do we not like? And those have been very powerful sessions for our traders. Now, a lot of times people are a little bit scared to do it because, again, you're putting yourself out there and you're being judged. But once you get rid of that shamelessness, right? Once you're completely shameless, right? then there's comfort. And then you understand that no one's here to judge you. We're just here to help you. And that's how cool ideas start. So yeah, whenever you get to that point, and that's what Eddie's done, get to that point, use us. Use the resources. Again, myself, Jason Greystone, use Charles, use your community here. We've got brilliant people. Again, Naomi is a genius on back testing. Right? We've got a lot of people. Shoot, in yesterday's session, Bobby brought up a great idea that changed the life of one of our traders. Bobby brought up a point, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I'm so glad Bobby brought up that point, because I never thought about that. It makes perfect sense. So that's, yeah, we do it all. It's always fun. It's always fun. It's always fun to do those reviews because it's shoot. I learned stuff. I learned stuff. So. But yeah, this is cool. I kind of want to just like now I want to just like ditch the live room and just go through looking for, because I'm always, I'm a nerd. I just want to go through looking at breakout opportunities on this thing. Let's look for one more, and then we'll take our break. One more. Let's just kind of scroll through and see what happens here. If there's any more, I have no idea what's going to happen. So let's see. RSI. What are we doing? Looking for 30, 20. Let's see. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor, let me know by hitting that like button. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. It could be related to this video and strategy development. It could be something about trading in general. It doesn't matter. I go through each and every one of them. I will respond. And if it's good, it may also become an episode of the Trading Coach podcast, which is really created to answer the questions that you guys have about trading, the trading process, the trading journey, and really anything business related and entrepreneurial as well. Also, if you're interested in joining our live room and in joining our great community of traders, you can do so over on our website, www.tier1trading.com. You can get started for $1. Come into the London live room, come into the New York live room, right? Involve yourself with our great network of traders, ask questions, get experience doing analysis, and I guaranteed you'll come out better than you went in. So no excuses. If you want to be good at trading, you need to take action. You need to take massive, deliberate action. And it really starts with putting yourself in a position to learn. And you're not going to beat a $1 price for 14 days, especially if you take full advantage of it. So I hope to see you guys in the live room. Tier 1 members, I'll see you in the Monday Q&A. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Everton versus Liverpool this weekend. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. But until next time, plan your trade your plan. Take care. Quick fix to it. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do something a little bit differently. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. Typically in these weekend videos, I'm taking you around the market, sharing with you some of the best trading opportunities that are on my radar. So thank you guys as always for joining. Once again, before you leave, So thank you guys again for joining. Once again, before you leave, make sure you hit that like button if that subscribe button isn't. Also, if you are interested in joining the live room and checking out some analysis and joining in on these type of, speaking of live rooms, by the way, if you're interested in our live room, you can join us for $1. It's